Welcome back. I hope you are all doing great, and today we are proceeding from where we stopped, and I'm adding a provision for the document number which I forgot to specify earlier. Just need to specify it as a code of 20 and again do the same to make sure that it has been keyed in the same way we did it on the other side. Just make sure that the value has been keyed in. If the document number is blank, then we require the document number. So that's another thing that I just forgot to point out. And finally, we'll have the document number also here as a field. Doesn't have any table relation. We call it the document number. Okay. Then the caption is document number. Okay. So once you've done that, we need to proceed to the aim of this, what you're doing is to make sure that the customer has the ability to key in everything that they want displayed on the journal. But you are making it easier for them, but you're giving them the ability to do what they want to display. Don't hard code the values, just make sure that you use the best practices, that is creating every other value.
Ni Tekna Msangi ya jishinde.com.
So for you to create a record in any table, you usually use the init. The init clears, it initializes the record in the table, but it clears or resets all the values of this record to 0. So anything that is here to the default value, line number will have 0, general templating will have a blank, this account type will have the default, posting date will have the default 0D, document type, description, all of them will have the default value. The next thing we need to now specify the account, the line number. When you're posting in the batch, the line number is automatically populated by that page. The page has got, I guess, auto split key on those. Okay, document type pages. They're not document. I forgot what these pages, the worksheet pages. I don't know if they have auto split key, but they usually auto populate. But here on the journal line, you need to specify the line number. I believe you didn't specify it, but you need to increment it by 1 and make sure that this is a global variable, because if it's not global, you might not, it will be resetting itself on this particular record. So if don't put a line number here, you say you have an integer of line number, okay, or line no, so this one won't give you the best because it will be resetting after every iteration of the record. So we need to have it the line number. So what else do we need to specify that is important? We need to specify the posting date, mostly today. That's another field that's optionally you can specify. You can use it as a filter field if the user wants to specify their own posting date. This is optionally. You can optionally set it up the way we set up these other fields on this other side to enable the user specify the posting date. Okay, so once the posting date is today, we need to just set the document number to the document number that we had. The document date is today again, or it will be the same date that we have on the other side. Now the journal line dot account type, need to start going there to the account type. We'll have it as customer, and then the account number. So here is another trick that we use. We need to validate the account number to be the customer.number. So what does validate means? Validate, we are assigning the value of this account number to this customer, but at the same time we run the code that is under the validate trigger of this particular account number. This step is so important. You need to run the code to make sure that this account of the customer is a valid account. It will do several checks, including checking if the customer is blocked. So if you go to definition of this table, for instance, and there is code that will be run in the account number field. So once you validate this particular account number, it will run code and populate or run everything that is here to make sure that everything is okay on validate account. On this is a okay, this is a published event. This event has been published on validate account number on before assign value. You can subscribe to this if you want that. So if account type now that is customer, it will come and run this particular account to get the customer. So it will make sure that everything is okay in terms of this particular customer that we are trying to post to, including entering the posting date, updating the description here, and checking the blocked. This is the important thing that I was saying, checking blocked if the customer is blocked. So always validate that account number while you are entering the journal line. When you enter on the application side, it is automatically validated, but on this side you need to explicitly validate, like calling the validate. There is another option of saying the initializing the account number and validating later. The account number is this customer.number, and then you call journalline.validate validate account number. This is another way of doing it, but I find it a little bit, you're adding the number of lines that you are having. So this is the best that I prefer using because it will give you the easier way. Then the description has been updated with the customer name, but we need to specify our own description. So this is another optional thing that you can specify, but on the request field. But for me, I believe sometimes the description doesn't change as much. As long as you understand what the customer is doing, you can always be able to create your own description. Like for me, I would like to have a description that goes all the way to last year. So last year, I know I'll have to calculate 1 year from today. Okay, 1 year from today, and then I go to the beginning of the year. 1 year from today will give me last year by default. So I want to get the value of the date of the year, date, today, month, year, and then the date, and then today, month, year, day, month, year, value 3. So you can use this function to get the year of this particular date, but this date is giving me the value of last year. So I can say annual payments for last year, 2022, depending on the customer that I'm working with. So then another thing that we need to get is the amount. The amount you can be able to calculate it from the customer, but for today we are going just to use the default value of a debit of a credit of a 5k or a 5,000. And once that one has been done, we just need to specify the balancing account type. This is a one-line journal, and the balancing account type is GL account, and the balancing account number will be this account payment GL account. It's supposed to be expense GL account, and then the journal line dot. How do I forgot? The first thing here is supposed to be, I'm still back, the template name, journal template name. Don't forget this, huh? User setup dot journal template name, and then the batch is user setup. Journal batch name is user setup dot journal batch name. You can see that this one is primary key number 2 and 3. It's a very important field. You cannot work without the template and the batch name. So it's among the first fields to specify. So the other thing that we need to validate is the amount. We need to validate the amount to be that particular figure. You could be fetching it from somewhere. I don't have so much processing on this to get the amount. You can have maybe another code unit that you have called to fetch for this particular amount, depending on the conditions that you have. And then this is the balancing account number, and then the balancing. Okay, I think you can insert. Last, you need to add the shortcut dimensions or the dimension codes here. At times you might need to say this is the shortcut dimension 1 code and the shortcut dimension 2 code. Shortcut dimension 2 code. If you have those values, please also enter them here under this posting, so, or you validate them. But for now I will just comment this and we can test this insertion. We just go and choose one customer, ideally the 20,000 customer, and make sure that we have been able to insert one particular journal line, and then we'll open the page of general journal line, the page, so that we can be able to see exactly that. So the best case to make our work easier, on after this is on pre-report, we need to have another trigger on post-report. This is at the end of everything. Once everything has been processed, we need to get the journal line to open. Okay, this is not so important for now because we will automatically post. Okay, but we can still open it. Okay, journal template name. Remember, the user setup was initialized here and it's a global variable, so it will always have these values. Journal template name. It will have the values in the lifetime of this report as it runs. Set range. Journal batch name. A little bit lazy to make sure that I don't go to open. Journal batch name. So if we find the value, then we need to run the page for general journal line. To run the page journal line, general journal. It's supposed to be general journal, general journal, page 39. I hope I'm getting the right page. And then the run takes the page number and then the record, general journal line. So we just run that particular page once we have inserted the record. Let's start with this payment, this particular payment, and we will post it, and then we will add other layers of this particular journal. So for now, let's just run this code as it is and be able to see whatever we have done. I've built my report. I've built, and I'm expecting it to run so that we can be able to see whatever the journal wants. Seems like I need to enter my password again here in my Business Central, and once I've entered it, I'll have the customers and I'll go and process the annual payments. Okay, I might need to specify every other GL, and Selangorian is the customer that we wanted, so we need to say the expense GL of what? Let's say other commuter extraordinary expenses, for instance. The income GL, fees and charges, and then tax GL, we'll just say sell tax or purchase tax table should be taxes. This will help. And then payment. Okay, whichever GL, and then the document number, we will call it tutorial. Let's say post tut. Okay, we are not posting, and then we process. We have filtered to this customer so that we cannot have so many entries that are generating. So it's being initialized and it's processing, and it has opened our journal batch, and here it is. We have the value of the posting date set to today, and then the document number, the posting date, and then the account name is here, then the annual payments, and okay, we have a balancing account number, and then balancing account type. This is GL account. the one that you have selected there has been keyed in, and we are finally having this area code automatically populated by the validate trigger. The total balance is 5,000, but this should be able to balance. We can do a post preview. Okay, preview posting, so that we can see if everything is okay. Seems something is wrong. Working on it. So ideally, after you have inserted the journal lines, you just confirm that everything is okay before you post. Especially if it's your first time doing them, you can probably be able to look for any error trace and see if everything is okay. Let me continue. So it seems that we have everything in order. We will have, once the posting has been done, we will have a GL entry with 2 entries, a customer ledger entry with 1 entry, and a detailed customer ledger entry with exactly 1 entry. So it means, okay, it's good to do this step by step so that you can be able to see if everything will be okay once you do the posting at the end of it all. So at this juncture, okay, some English here, I'll be able now to do the posting for this journal. At what point do we do the final posting? The best the best is to do it right at the end once you have keyed in all these transactions here. So instead of running the page, this is you can even have a boolean here. Let me make it even interesting. Let's say post directly I don't know, that word is not the best, but if the user has said post directly, we have given them the option. If they want to view it in their batch, then leave them to view it. If they want to post it directly, then leave them to do it automatically. Like give them an option here to post directly. So they trust that the system is okay, but they can use it to probably initially they generate a batch and make sure everything is okay. And once they are sure, then they just post directly. Okay. So finally, we need to begin here and end, and then okay, not at this point, not at this point. So this is the on post report. So we just need to begin and end, and if not post directly, then we open this particular page of the journal for the user to post from the template, journal template. Else, then remember, if the journal is not a general journal, you might need to have another layer of trying to know if it's a general journal. So this is not really much advisable. So else, if everything is okay and you need to post directly, you can just run the code unit as the tool. Sometimes I don't need your code suggestion. Code unit.run. So which code unit are we running? We need to run the code unit that is known as the general journal post batch. General journal post batch. It's usually code unit 13. How am I almost forgetting the name? General journal post batch. This is the code unit, and by default, the code unit takes in the general journal line as the input for it to be able to post. So before we add so many transactions, let's make sure that we are able to post the first one before we go to any other transaction. So we can verify this code unit. It's supposed to take table 81. When you go to definition, if you have a Z DevTools installed, you can be able to do exactly that. A ZAL DevTools installed as your extension. So you can see that this one takes the table number as the general line, this code unit 13, general post batch. So this is the best case. You can have 13 here, like run, you enter number 13 manually and then the comma, but the best way is to have it written or initial post. Okay, having it like this, because you won't be able to once you're doing upgrades, it's easier for you, or when the number changes for some reason, and you give it this variable that you have found here for this particular journal line, so that it can filter to only this batch that you want to post. So automatically we expect that when we run our code at this point, it will give us everything. So the other thing I noticed is the user is having to enter everything manually, yet they have a customer list here. So instead of having this object run automatically, we can have a trigger on action, trigger on action, and then we begin end, and then here we will need to fetch the particular customer record. We can have the customer as a local variable. We need the record of customer and a short form of it, and then we'll say the customer dot reset and then set range. Wow, the number to be the rec dot number, because you're on the same record, and then if we find anything, then we'll be able to run this report with the filter automatically set to be the customer report that will be processed annual transaction, and the record. The report.run has two methods. There is one from request window, we need it true, and then the second one is for system printer, false, don't automatically print, and then the third one is for the record, that is now the customer or the cust that we have just be able to specify, and we'll remove this run object automatically, and we can call the image to be process. I don't know, process, if it's there. Okay, we are almost ready. We just build and run this particular package. We are running. I didn't show my face today, so that, or in this series, so that I can make you focus on the code instead of focusing on me. Okay, so once you have clicked on this and then you process annual payments, it should automatically populate for us this 20,000. So we don't need to key in this particular value. We can even have this 10,000 and try, so that we can see if it, yeah, you see it is populating automatically the value of the customer. So instead of having the user select everything, just give them that, the process, and then they have this customer populated. So the GL that we have in here is an expense GL. So we said the GL that we'll use is that 6400, but we used another expense at that time. Doesn't matter. Then we'll have the fees GL, fees and charges, and we'll have the tax GL, the tax itself, taxes, and then payment, payment, and finally the document number, post tutorial, and we want to post directly. This is the option that we have given the customer to post directly. I don't want to use the other options, so that, because I have a lot here to key in, allow me to post directly for now, and we will navigate using this post tutorial to see if there is any problem. So if we face any error, we will try and rectify it. Let's give it a go and post directly. We have posted. Imagine it was that fast. We need to navigate now. navigate, find entries, and verify. Did we post anything or we were joking? Okay, there we are. In our post tutorial, we automatically posted into the journal without going to the badge, and we didn't see anything there. It was that fast. And here is our GL entry that we have affected, annual payment 2021, the document number that we keyed in, the GL account that we specified, and okay, this looks really good and really automatic for the customer. And I believe when you give your client such a thing, they'll really appreciate, because you have enabled them do processing very fast. So in the next video, we'll now be able to do the breakdown of everything. We go to this tax, GL, and post again, and then do all the postings, and finally reverse. So thank you, and make sure that you have reached this point. Try and do it yourself. Don't just watch and enjoy. Do it yourself and make sure that you can be able to reach where I have reached in your own way. Choose different accounts. If you want to use a vendor, it's okay. I don't mind, as long as you apply the concept. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. May God bless you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.